There's been growing excitement in the photography community as Nikon's next big release approaches, the much-anticipated Nikon ZFR. If you're already familiar with the Nikon ZF, you know that Nikon has successfully blended vintage aesthetics with modern mirrorless technology, crafting cameras that are not only beautiful but powerful too. Now, with the rumored Nikon ZFR, the company seems ready to take that retro-inspired concept even further, stirring plenty of curiosity and discussion. Early leaks suggest we could see a camera with a stunning 60-megapixel sensor, improved ergonomics, and several high-end features. But how much of this is actually true? And more importantly, can the Nikon ZFR truly compete in a market where models like the Sony A7RV and Canon EOS R5 are already setting high standards? Let's dive deeper and unpack everything we know so far. Before we get into what the Nikon ZFR might offer, it's worth revisiting its spiritual predecessor, the Nikon ZF. The ZF was Nikon's homage to classic film cameras, wrapping a high-performance mirrorless system in a body that oozed nostalgia. It won the hearts of photographers who valued a traditional design feel but still wanted the conveniences of modern technology. However, the ZF wasn't perfect. One common complaint was its grip. While the body looked sleek and authentically retro, it wasn't the most comfortable camera to hold during extended shooting sessions. Many users ended up purchasing third-party accessories to improve ergonomics. Additionally, the ZF's burst speed topped out at 10 frames per second, which limited its appeal among action photographers who needed faster continuous shooting. With the arrival of the Nikon ZFR, there's hope that Nikon has learned from these shortcomings. If Nikon can provide a stronger, more comfortable grip while maintaining the beloved retro charm, and possibly increase the camera's speed performance, the Nikon ZFR could attract an even wider audience. But of course, whether Nikon chooses to address these issues remains to be seen. As for the rumored specifications, the headline feature is undoubtedly the 60-megapixel full-frame sensor. This would represent a significant upgrade over the Nikon ZF and would place the ZFR firmly in competition with some of the most powerful cameras currently on the market, such as Sony's A7RV, which also boasts a 60-megapixel sensor. Canon's EOS R5, while slightly lower in resolution at 45 megapixels, is still a major player thanks to its outstanding overall performance. High-resolution sensors, however, are not a new development. Sony introduced 1 year ago with the A7R4, and Sigma's FPL also features a 60-megapixel sensor. So the real question becomes, what will Nikon do differently to make the ZFR stand out? There's speculation that Nikon might push for improved dynamic range and richer color depth compared to its rivals. Some rumors even suggest that Nikon could attempt to offer 16-bit RAW recording. Achieving 16-bit color depth would be a massive leap, as this feature is usually reserved for much larger and more expensive medium-format cameras like the Fujifilm GFX 100 or the Hasselblad X2D 100C. However, realistically speaking, it's more probable that the Nikon ZFR will stick with the more common 10-bit to 14-bit range, which would still deliver excellent results for the vast majority of photographers. When it comes to burst speed, the Nikon ZFR probably won't be aiming to outpace the competition. Based on Nikon's track record and target audience, it's reasonable to expect a maximum burst rate around 10 frames per second, a figure that aligns well with a focus on high-resolution still photography rather than action or sports photography. For those looking for speed and robust continuous shooting capabilities, Nikon's Z8 and Z9 will continue to be the better choices. However, for landscape photographers, portrait artists, and anyone who prioritizes detail over speed, the Nikon ZFR's performance should be more than adequate. The video capabilities of the Nikon ZFR are another major topic of discussion. There's been considerable speculation about whether this new model will support 8K video recording. Given that Nikon's Z8 and Z9 already offer 8K capture, it wouldn't be surprising to see the ZFR follow suit. However, it's important to keep in mind that while 8K recording sounds impressive on paper, it demands significant storage space and processing power, and many users still output their final projects in 4K or even 1080p. Moreover, heat management becomes a serious concern when you pack 8K capability into a compact, retro-style body like what's expected for the Nikon ZFR. Still, offering 8K video would be a smart move for Nikon, giving hybrid shooters more flexibility to crop or deliver high-end productions without sacrificing quality. If Nikon can manage heat effectively, it would make the ZFR even more appealing to creators who want both stunning stills and powerful video tools in one beautiful package. Design-wise, it's safe to assume that the Nikon ZFR will maintain the vintage styling that made the ZF so beloved. But Nikon will likely introduce subtle but important improvements. Chief among them would be a redesigned grip for better handling over long periods. The Nikon ZF slim profile was gorgeous but not the most ergonomic for hours of shooting. Tweaking the body to be slightly more comfortable without losing the classic aesthetic could be key to the ZFR's success. In addition, the physical dials, a favorite feature among fans of the ZF, are expected to return, allowing users to adjust ISO, shutter speed, and exposure compensation manually. If these rumored specifications prove to be accurate, the Nikon Z90 could emerge as one of the most capable APS-C mirrorless cameras on the market. It would blend high-speed performance, strong video features, and robust ergonomics in a way that fills a clear gap in Nikon's current Z-mount lineup. The Canon EOS R7 currently holds the top spot in this segment, combining high resolution with rapid burst shooting and 4K video capabilities, making it a favorite among action photographers. Nikon would need to deliver similar or superior features to successfully challenge Canon's dominance. One area where Nikon might gain an advantage is in its image stabilization and autofocus systems. Nikon has invested heavily in refining its subject tracking algorithms, especially in its higher-end models like the Z8 and Z9. If those improvements trickle down into the Z90, users can expect accurate and fast autofocus performance, even in challenging scenarios. Combined with effective IBIS, this would make the Z90 a highly reliable tool for fast-paced photography. The absence of a flagship APS-C mirrorless camera has long been a sore point for Nikon users. The Z50 and ZFC, while capable, are geared more toward casual shooters and content creators. For those coming from the Nikon D500 or other high-performance DSLRs, there has been little reason to switch to the Z-mount APS-C system, until now. The Nikon Z90, if released with these specs, would finally provide that bridge, offering a mirrorless upgrade path for serious shooters who want crop sensor benefits without compromising on speed or durability. Historically, APS-C cameras have been favored by wildlife and sports photographers for one major reason: the crop factor. This sensor size effectively gives extra reach when using telephoto lenses, which is crucial for distant subjects. The D500 was especially loved for its rugged body, high frame rate, and reliable autofocus, making it a go-to tool for demanding fieldwork. If the Nikon Z90 can bring those qualities into the mirrorless world while adding modern perks like IBIS and improved video recording, it could become an instant hit among photographers who want performance without the bulk of full-frame gear. As of now, there's no confirmed launch date for the Nikon Z90, and Nikon has remained silent on any official details. However, multiple reports suggest that the company is actively testing new APS-C Z-mount prototypes, some of which may very well be